For today's Mod of the Day, we're taking a look at what is quite possibly one of the most underrated graphics mods to be released so far in 2021. Because today, our Mod of the Day is Imperial Towns Revamp by SVNR, and this is just an absolutely breathtaking and a beautiful looking replacer for the Imperial Towns and cities in Morrowind. Just completely and utterly overhauling and replacing the Imperial architecture in towns like Caldera, Sedanin, Dagenfell, and Pelagiad. And basically, what this does is it just replaces the models and textures for the Imperial Common and Nordic tile sets, and also the drystone walls, as you can see here. And these are just, fantastically high-quality assets. I mean, again, this is just a beautiful replacer. I don't think there's anything even remotely similar in terms of quality, at least not, in terms of replacers, anyway, for Morrowind. It really just, it stands in a league of its own, and is, I think, more comparable in terms of, the quality of assets to Oblivion or Skyrim than Morrowind. Probably more so Oblivion than Skyrim, but, point is, it's just, it looks a lot better than anything in vanilla Morrowind. And, just comparing this to vanilla Morrowind for a bit, in the vanilla game, most of these buildings just had flat models with flat textures applied to them. So you'd have a flat wall with stonework just basically painted on. And with this replacer, you actually get a lot of that 3D dynamic effect from the actual stonework with these buildings, especially with the drystone walls, the Nordic buildings, and the chimneys and everything. These are not, painted on stones. These look like they're more, properly stacked stones. Actual stonework. And the same goes for the roof tiles and the thatch roofs, which are, again, they have more of that 3D effect to them. The roof tiles aren't, perfectly flat and in alignment. They're more kind of jagged a bit. Some of them stick out a bit more. And it's the same with the thatch, which, is, basically kind of like hay, stacked up on top of a roof. So you get more of that realistic visual effect, and it is just visually stunning and fantastic. And I should mention that this doesn't just replace the Imperial architecture, it also replaces the ivy, which, you typically see on Imperial architecture. There's even optional downloads to replace the ground cover in Imperial cities, with, new ground textures and everything, and also a 3D rain model that you can also use to replace the rain. So there's quite a few options here, and that's not it. This also supports PBR, or physical-based rendering. So, if you have MGXE and a computer that can handle PBR without, breaking down, because it is very FPS intensive, you can take advantage of that for just even better looking Imperial architecture. And if you're on OpenMW, there's also support for normal mapping, so there's something here for everyone. Regardless of whether or not you're using MGXE or OpenMW, there's just a huge host of graphical improvements for this Imperial architecture. It is utterly visually stunning. And it doesn't just include exteriors, it also includes support for interiors, at least in terms of interior support for Nordic buildings and houses and, things of that nature. So these, dynamic 3D walls that you see on the exterior, you'll also see on the interior, including support for Nordic fireplaces and things like that. And also it replaces the interiors for thatched roofed Imperial towers. And it all looks amazing. This is again a criminally underrated mod. As of this recording, it only has, I think, 35 endorsements on the Nexus, which is just insane to me. It did come out kind of at a bad time. It was released in the middle of May, which, you know, we had hundreds of mods get released in May. So it kind of just got a bit buried, I guess. But you know, this is a mod that is worth your attention, and certainly worth, you know, installing and playing for yourself. Though I won't lie, you know, it does have a bit of an FPS impact, but it is so totally worth it just to see this improved architecture in game. But anyway, you know, that's our mod of the day. So as always, I've been your host, Dark Elf Guy. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.